Yeah, this last section is about how to grow and protect what you have. So we've just gone through the different methods. So in this cube, you've got holding, lending, borrowing, staking, etc. You can have a look at this on banklesshq.com, which is a website all about going bankless. It's in the video that we'll release where Paul talks about it. But basically, the way to think about this skill cube is your map. So again, with your banking hat on, if you consider the money as your crypto, right, and you have access to the, sorry, I keep using my hands, but I should use a pointer. You have access to the same tools that the banks and the same protocols that they have. And these are your like little channels of being able to grow your crypto and your funds. And obviously there's security and taxes to consider as well. But the main point of mapping out something like this is to grow your crypto wealth. And notice I mentioned maximizing your crypto wealth. So that's your wealth denominated in crypto money versus fiat money. So going back to the psychology that we were talking about before with being on a roller coaster with price going up and down, if you buy, say, one whole Bitcoin today and it's worth $18,000, and then tomorrow it's worth $10,000, there's no need to panic if you're thinking with a crypto mindset, because your crypto wealth is still the one Bitcoin. Right? You haven't actually lost anything. It's just the value in comparison to the US dollar or whatever it is that you convert it to. But if you just leave it there and let it grow, you're building up your wealth. You can trade that. You can use any one of these channels to increase your crypto wealth rather than thinking of cash or fiat wealth. Trading is the way which we'll talk about tomorrow. Trading is one of the ways to accelerate that growth even more, build up your crypto wealth, and regardless of the price moving up and down.
So we touched on a lot of this stuff earlier, but feel free to go back over and read it. But and this stablecoin section will make more sense after you watch the video with Paul as well. But yeah, these stable coins are effectively equivalent to $1, so $1 US. So you've got a USD coin, Gemini. Now, all these coins have like an acronym. So for example, USD coin is USDC. So similar to Bitcoin is BTC, Ethereum is ETH. So you'll see all these acronyms in crypto, and this will be a common thing. These are all equivalent to $1 US, but they're just different. I guess you could say, well, how would we explain it? They're different. They're from different businesses or different organizations that offer different services. So, for example, USDT is more so on the, I believe it's USDT on the Ethereum blockchain, isn't it? But yeah, they're all equivalent to $1 US, and the reason why they're so important to have stable coins is, for people who may want to be dollar cost averaging, or, if the price dramatically drops, you might want to convert back into a stable coin while it drops and then buy back in when it's lower. But these are all things that we'll talk about more so tomorrow in regards to when the markets go up and down. But like what Kevin said before, unless you're really delving into trading or you're delving into decentralized finance or that kind of thing, if you buy one Bitcoin, no matter what the dollar value is of it, it's always worth one Bitcoin. It's just going to go up and down in value as it goes. But if you're believing in that trajectory, well, it really doesn't matter. You haven't lost any value at all.
Think of stable coins as just digital versions of a dollar.
Yeah.
That they facilitate switching between the crypto world and the fiat world. Or if you watch The Matrix, red pill, blue pill kind of thing. If you're going back and forth, instead of going from US dollars, which is hard cash, to crypto, these are digital versions which allow you to make the transactions a lot quicker.
Makes it easier,
yeah. So there's 5 principal protection protocols. I like alliteration, so excuse me. That you can sort of think about in terms of growing and protecting what you have, right? So I made a little thing there that spells out armor. You want to put your armor on when you're looking into wealth management and risk management. And the first rule of this protection is don't lose money. And the second rule is don't forget rule number 1, right? So, so if you keep that in mind, then you're, rather than thinking of like a gambling mindset of like, how do I make profits? How do I win? And blah, blah, blah. If you're keeping in mind, don't lose money, don't forget rule number 1, then the next natural question is, okay, so how do I not lose money? Right? And then so you set up these protocols to help you not lose money. So the first one, allocating your assets, and this is the last module that we'll do. So allocating your assets or segmenting your soldiers is pretty much like thinking tactically about what you do, or being strategic about where to place each of your soldiers or each of your dollars. If you're going to war, you're on a battlefield, you're not just going to put your soldiers in one firing line to get smashed. You're going to be strategic about where you place them. So it's similar with your wealth and your crypto. You're not just going to go, all my Bitcoins here and bet on black.
I'm just going to put it all in staking, right?
Yeah.
And then it just so happened that the staking site you put into was high risk, where you thought it wasn't high risk, and then it disappeared, right? You're not going to do that, right? You're going to put a portion in staking. You probably want to put a portion. You're going to hold some. You may look to trade some. You may look to do other things with it, right? And we're probably talking very basic wealth management stuff here, but just don't put it all in the one bucket.
Diversity. Don't put your eggs in one basket, all that sort of thing. So one way to look at it is have 3 buckets. Start with going, what's now, what's soon, and what's later. So what do I need now? What do I need? Now could be like immediately for you, like the next 24 hours, or it could be within the next couple of days. And then soon could be the next couple of weeks, and later is like retirement. Or another way to look at it is, what's safe and liquid now that I need. Like I need to make sure I have this cash in the bank to pay rent or to pay bills and whatever. And then soon is, being more conservative and just having income for the end of the month or something like that, or the next 3 months. And later is, retirement fund or trust fund for the kids. Some people's later could just be buying a house or going on holiday or something like that. So everyone has different buckets, but it's important to at least start with considering these 3 main things. I know some people who have like 7 buckets, or some people who have 12 different things, and they split it up different times. But start with these 3 and allocate your assets accordingly to that. The next thing is removing temptation. So Troy mentioned that before about him sending his treasure over to his mum's house, something like that. Another way to think about it is hide the cookie jar, right? If you keep sort of picking at things, well, you're going to lose. You're going to lose the thing that you're trying to save. So removing temptation by being practical about the treasure thing, so hiding it somewhere, or adding barriers for you to not dip into, like say you put your rainy day fund in a jar, and then you're on this trade and you're like, oh, I'm losing the trade, and your psychology is kind of like, oh, but if I buy in a little bit more, maybe I can make more, and so I'll dip into my rainy day fund. You're just gonna race to the bottom, basically.
Even
building up bad
even if you win that trade, and let's say it worked and you didn't get stopped out and the trade went up and you won, next time you're just going to do the same thing. Eventually you're going to lose, and it's just going to end up in you consistently losing. So I know for myself, and I don't know whether it's like a stupid male thing or something, but I need to remove my temptations and get them out of my sight. Otherwise I will we talk about I must and I will grab my rainy day fund all the time. So that's why it's so important. And everyone knows these things about themselves, right? And this is all about understanding. And if you don't, then we definitely have tools and things that we're happy to point people towards, to be able to get a better understanding about your mentality and your kind of connection with money and wealth.
So so basically don't eat away at your cookies, or don't mix business with personal funds and long-term holdings for trading and things like that. The next protocol is minimizing your risk. So, don't take bets you can't recover from. Essentially, what that means is don't risk anything you can't afford to lose. In our particular trading style, we try to basically take a maximum 1% loss, and we'll go through that tomorrow. But the idea behind that is that by only risking 1% of your account per trade, it gives you a little bit more of a buffer to make mistakes and learn in the process, so that your mistakes, which are inevitable, will be minor little hits, minor little punches that you can still recover from. And you can. There's a way to actually lose more trades than win trades, but because of your risk to reward ratio, you can still be in profit. If you're earning 3 to 1 or 5 to 1 in terms of risk to reward, you could have a certain amount of trades that you have a totally bad losing streak, but eventually you win back that amount and more with the right strategy.
Sorry, and we will touch on this again, as I said, later, but something to really keep in mind, especially in the crypto space, like we said before, probably for you guys in this small group, not so much, but there's a lot of people who have already kind of dipped their toes in the crypto space, and they genuinely believe I'm going to get rich tomorrow from it, which, like I said before, it is possible. You can get on a certain coin that skyrockets and you can get rich tomorrow. But then if that actually happens, it's kind of like someone who wins lotto. You don't really hear the story about the people who won lotto and then lost it all, right? Because they didn't have proper risk management. They didn't understand wealth. They didn't understand what to do. They were spending their money the same way they were spending when they were only getting $1,000 a week. But they all of a sudden they had $1 million and they were just spending it in a crazy way, the same as normal. So we'll touch on it tomorrow, as I said. But if you've got $1,000 you're starting with, the whole idea is capital preservation. If you didn't lose $1 in your day of crypto and trading, that is a very good day, because you've still got your capital and you preserved it, and it's about growing that and setting a plan for it. Like I said, it's probably not so equivalent to people live on this call. Probably people listening back to the recording, it is. But yeah, like I said, you've got to think long term.
Yeah. So protocol number 4 is, the way I like to think about this is twofold: thinking of others ahead, meaning that you have to find mentors that match your momentum. There's no need to reinvent the wheel and come up with some new crypto strategy or trading strategy or investment method. Others have already forged a path ahead for you, so you can learn from them and just simply follow that path. But also don't follow blindly, right? There are others that have forged a path ahead that have made a lot of mistakes, and if you're following them blindly as well, you could end up in the same position. So I always like to think of Bruce Lee's absorb what is useful, discard what is not, and add what is uniquely your own. And to essentially always be improving, always be teachable, always be learning, and find coaches such as Karatan or Linda, who you have resources that you can, and lessons that you can impart to other people, and can help to guide you to where they've already been. Whether that's wealth-wise or psychologically or spiritually, better optics give you better decision-making power. So that's another thing to keep in mind. Better optics, meaning if you're standing on the shoulders of giants, you're going to be able to see a lot further, right? Your perspective and your horizons are widened. And likewise, it's also important to keep in mind that putting others ahead of you in the sense of, how can you help and serve other people around you, that will also improve your world, because a rising tide lifts all boats. A rising tide raises all ships, whatever the saying is there, which is really important in this space. It's a movement. Cryptocurrency is a movement. There's communities being built around it, because essentially people are tired of the old financial system, right? And in order for a movement to grow and move, then people have to be supportive of each other. And so, think of others ahead of you, and think of those that you can also put ahead. And then number 5, so the last one, is ride the wave. So you are never too wise, always be teachable. And I like to think of this picture of an elephant. You know, elephants are said to remember things 50 to 60 years in the past, right? So they, in a sense, consume a whole lot of knowledge and a whole lot of experience and wisdom. They're huge and they're powerful, yet they can remain nimble on their feet, and they're able to move relatively quickly when conditions change. So, you know, try and keep that in mind, like consume knowledge and wisdom, but also remain quick on your feet, so enough so that you can ride the wave of the markets or crypto. So there's another saying that's, you know, the trend is your friend. So if Troy mentioned before, the general trajectory of Bitcoin is like going up, then don't counter trend trade. Don't think, oh, I'm going to be smart and try and trade it down and try and pick when it's going to fall off the cliff. Like, go with the trend, go with the wave, you know. And likewise, if things are going down, don't counter trend trade that and think, oh, no, it's going to go to the moon now or whatever, like blindly. Just ride the wave, you know. Yeah, you don't know what you don't know yet. So keep that in mind. And, you know, nobody has all the answers or silver bullets to everything. So don't let your ego get the better of you, and stay humble and stay upright. So again, the you know, elephant surfing. Another thing, I just added this morning, the way I like to, like, I'm an 80s child, so you know, Ninja Turtles was a big part of my life. And initially when Bitcoin came out, that was like the granddaddy of things, you know, the Master Splinter with the little turtles as babies. That's like Monero, Litecoin, Ethereum, and Dash. They're four of the main altcoins. But we've gone through this, you know, transition now where they're a lot more mature. They've created their own communities. They've created their own movements, and their value has, you know, stabilized or risen accordingly, to the point where, you know, they're starting to stabilize in terms of not necessarily being the same value as Bitcoin, but in terms of their use and acceptability within the community. And the thing to keep in mind is they didn't do that on their own. You know, Bitcoin didn't run off on its own, or Dash didn't run off on its own, or Ethereum didn't do it on its own. It's a whole team effort, I guess, across all the cryptocurrencies and the communities. This is the second last slide. You know, some tips on moving forward before we go to tomorrow. So build a mental model for understanding the opportunities in crypto. So that's going back to the bankless skill cube that we showed before. So having the right model is the best way to make better decisions. There are many wrong models as well, because the industry is relatively new. But consider yourself, you know, in the top 5% or even the top 2%, as Troy mentioned. You're here on the call, whether you're here live now or listening back to the replay. You've made the effort to you know, learn and research things. So treat each model as a thesis to be tested, and do your own research. So don't just chase narratives or hype news or, you know, fake news on Facebook or whatever. Even with what we're saying, like, we could be wrong about so many different things. So always do your own research and create your own version of the mental model to understand the opportunities that are right for you in your situation. Like, we're explaining staking, but that might not be right for you. Trading might not be right for you. So don't just go off the hype and that sort of thing.
Align yourself with mentors that align with your values, like that. You know, that's basic stuff probably for you guys and maybe people watching, but it's so important in this space as well. Being a relatively new space, even though it's been around for 11 years, it is still new, right? In the banking world and the financial world, it's extremely new. So you've really got to align yourself with people who have the same values and the same understanding and beliefs. And that's why community is so important. I've mentioned it a few times, so has Kev, about the community. And we will put up our on Kevin's website. You can see it anyway. So make sure you visit it. Just in regards to joining the Crypto Collective community on Facebook, and that way you can kind of stay in touch and connect with other people, other like-minded people, and like what Kevin said as well. You know, I say always do your own research, and I was on a little bit of a spiel before I got cut off and my internet cut out an hour ago. But what I was saying was, don't be an inactive community member, because the inactive ones are missing out on so much opportunity in this space. Like, you have no idea the amount of opportunity in this space to create life-changing wealth, not just for you, but your children and your children's children. Like, we're talking about a massive, massive shift in the way that wealth is going to be not only created, but shifted into this new way of thinking. So if you can be an active member and stay up to date with things and stay connected, and whether that's in mine and Kevin's community or another community, whatever it may be, we don't really mind. Just be an active member and stay connected within it. That's my spiel.
Yeah, it goes in line with like knowing that that is your advantage, your curiosity,
Exactly.
and your activeness within the community will be what puts you ahead. Because even though, you know, the banks are jumping in now and they've got all this money and whatnot, they've actually missed most of the best opportunities because of their status or their stature as institutions. They've had to jump through hoops for regulation and whatnot, which has stopped them as institutions from being able to get in early on some of the other things that earlier, you know, crypto people are able to get into as individuals. So yeah, that is a really big advantage for you, being small and nimble, so to speak. And then maintain healthy skepticism. So, you know, don't just trust, but verify any information. As mentioned before, don't be a blind believer. Crypto is so early, and you know the risks are many. You could lose everything you put in, or make more than you know what to do with. So similar to what Troy said before about winning the lottery, you know, you really have to work on your mindset, because you never know. You could put a trade on that suddenly earns you a couple of $100,000 or millions of dollars, and then what? You know, if you're not prepared for that, you could lose it just as quick or even quicker. And also, last thing is, none of this is guaranteed, so you're making a bet on the future state of the world. Welcome to the most exciting techno-social movement in our lifetime. And it's actually like, you know, for people like Troy and Kjartan and myself, like we've been in this for what feels like a long time, but it's still new and exciting for us to discover. There's always something to learn and something new to gain, whether it's financially or technologically or wealth-wise or even just community-wise.
Yeah, definitely the mind shifts part, like the mind, like, and this we'll touch on this a lot tomorrow, so get ready for it. But 80% mindset, it's how it is. Even if you do whatever you do in this space, you have to have the right mindset, or you can lose. But if you have the right mindset, you will win, and you will win massively. But you need to have the right mindset and apply it that way, and don't think like the other 99% of people do in crypto, which is, I'm going to be a millionaire tomorrow. Instead of tomorrow, how about being a millionaire in 2 years' time? I'll take that, thanks. I'll take 2 years is fine. 5 years even is fine for me. I don't have to be a millionaire tomorrow. It's just about applying that correct mindset to it. And this space will give you the wealth you need if you apply the correct mindset.
Yeah. There's another slide. I'll put a slide in for tomorrow based on that, just a reminder. So yes, for homework, homework before tomorrow, you can manage, is you don't have to submit anything to us, obviously, but just like for yourself, you know, put it on a piece of paper, allocate your assets, you know, start with that, work on your buckets and just go, look, I'm interested in this crypto thing. You know, how much am I willing to invest, whether it's, you know, a few dollars into a particular method or whatever. Just work that out for you, what's now, soon or later. You don't have to do anything with it. It's just at least starting with a, you know, a napkin plan, I guess.
There's no wrong or right answer here.
Yeah.
Because everyone's risk to reward ratio is different. Everyone's situations are different. You know, everyone doesn't have, you know, 4 kids under 10 like me. So, you know, everyone's plans in their life and where they're at is all completely different. So, you know, just set this out. I've some friends who are massively successful who have 80% in their now bucket. I would not recommend that. That's not something that I do. And they are people who are single and don't have any other commitments, but they are massively successful because they make calculated risks and they're attacking it as opposed to being on the defensive all the time. So there's lots of different ways that you can make money in this space.
Yeah, so once you sort of work that out, the next thing I would you know, recommend is look at opening an account. On these three, again, there's a whole list of things, but these three are really super simple to do. and the links are on the website. And they're the ones, I think the top two, I think I mentioned before. If you do open an account with them, opening an account doesn't necessarily mean you have to actually fund it. You can just register and open an account. But with some of these, if you do share with other people or do, like with Coinbase, they have these tutorials that if you watch the videos, they're only like 2-minute videos and answer a couple of questions, then you get rewarded with like $10 worth of a particular cryptocurrency. So already you can start playing around and seeing how that works without actually putting your money at risk or on the table. So you can,
yeah, sorry Kev, sorry. Yeah.
So look at that, opening an account, and then if you do decide to put money into it and buy some crypto, or if you do end up doing the tutorials and getting a couple of dollars worth of a particular crypto, also transfer that to a wallet so that you can get used to the process. It's better for us to just send you these links and go, hey, give it a go yourself, rather than like trying to hold your hand through the process. But obviously, if you have questions, ask us. But the idea with being your own bank is to be self-sufficient and to be responsible for your financial future. So these are just like little baby steps that can help you cross that hurdle of like, hey, I actually own some crypto now. I have a wallet, and I kind of know what to do with it initially, or at least the possibilities are open for that. So
yeah, and so all those links are on Kevin's website, which I'll put in there again. It's on the screen, but also to add on top of this, and you guys will see the video from the replay that Paul does. The ticket price for the sessions over this 2 days, you're actually going to get back in crypto when the SDG token is released next year. So set yourself up with a wallet, get involved in it, get some skin in the game. Like we mentioned that earlier in the video, it's so much different when you have actual skin in the game, right? You get more invested in it. You're like, cool, what's going on here? This is going up, this is going down, this is going sideways, what's going on? Just to have that little bit of skin in the game, it really kind of invigorates and kind of, pushes you on to learn more and do more. Because like I said before, if you stay active within this, you will learn more and you will be successful without a shadow of a doubt. Awesome. Kev, do you want to just really quickly just bring up the day 2 slide, just so we can you guys can quickly read over it so you know what we're going to tackle tomorrow anyway. But just while we do that, by all means, Jarton, if you want to ask any questions, ask away. But Linda or Clive, we've kind of like brain dumped a lot of information on you guys. Is there any kind of initial questions that you may have? Like we're happy to spend the next 5 or so minutes, 10 minutes. If there was any questions that may come to mind, feel free to unmute yourself or anything.
Well, I actually just had a somewhat random question. It's like, what's in it for you to be doing this and building your community?
Yeah, that's a really awesome question. It's and I actually mentioned this in this morning's episode, and I said and we joked about this, me and Kevin. We said, imagine if like we spent the last 4 hours trading and looking at the charts and potentially getting trades and winning trades, right? So and it's a brilliant question, Linda. Now, when you go into this space, and when we entered the space, there was a select couple of people that really helped us out. Now, you might have remember earlier in the call, and Jarton has had the pleasure of meeting him as well. There's a gentleman called Roscoe Patterson who's been extremely profitable, plus also very educational in the space, and was a mentor to me and Kev. And I'll just use him as an example. If I know for a fact that if I didn't have him as a mentor in this space when I started, and I think Kevin can attest to this as well, there's no way that we would be where we are at this point in time if we didn't have him as a mentor. Okay. And the motto that Kevin and I have in our group of Crypto Collective, and I should know this off the top of my head, but correct me if I'm wrong, Kev, it's learn, trade. I can't remember after that. I do know that the 5th word we have, though, is give, right? Yeah. And that's because Kevin and I are both massive, massive believers in positive karma and, what you get what you give and how it revolves around. We are crypto has given us so much that we really want to give back and help build this community and help get more people involved and help build it up. We love everything about this space. We're massive nerds, as you could probably tell. We could probably we could do like 8-hour subjects on each of these things, which would bore you guys to tears. But hey, if you do hit us up on Messenger, don't get offended when we start going down the rabbit hole with these things. But to answer your question really quickly, Linda, we're just really passionate about it. We're extremely passionate about crypto. We're extremely passionate about decentralized finance. We're extremely passionate about giving the power back to the people. There's people in the world, in third world countries who, in Venezuela, in Argentina, in Zimbabwe, there's kids walking around with $1 trillion note, right? It's ridiculous what centralized banking and centralized systems has done. And there's people who don't have the ability, the simple things that we take for granted, like a banking system. People all through Africa that don't even have simple things like a banking system, right? The technology has given us the ability in cryptocurrency and decentralized finance to really help and generationally help and change the future of the world. And we're extremely passionate about that. I myself have 4 young kids, and I want the world that they have, free of corrupt bankers and free of centralized figures that control these kinds of things. So
is this your full-time, this is what you do?
Majority of the time for me, I'm pretty much for Kevin though. I do, because I'm a Nazi with my crypto and I don't like anything that I earn and get. I do not want to take a cent of it out of the blockchain. I do fill in and do some contracts back in the old world, so I can use fiat money or paper money to pay the rent and pay bills and pay stuff like that. I could take crypto out and pay it all, but I'm like, I don't want to take a single Satoshi out of everything that I've earned and build up until I believe it's added value that I believe that it's going to be in the next few years. And then I'll start, processing it. But that's just me and my journey, right? There are traders out there who literally just trade all the time and then use their trading profits to pay for their life and that kind of thing. But I just
because
can't
it's easy to go from Bitcoin to cash and pay for stuff whenever you want.
Yeah, it's very easy. Yeah, Kev does it all the time. It's very easy to do. I just can't do it. Like every Satoshi I make, I'm like, that is mine. It is worth. It's going to be worth so much in a few years. If it means I've got to work some crap work contract on the side just to pay bills, then I'll do that. But Kev's in a little bit of a different situation, living on a beautiful, amazing, deserted island. He has the ability to do that as well, and obviously his living expenses can be a little bit cheaper at times to mine. But yes, but that's just my journey.
Cool.
I think a big part of the incentive for this is also, we're all community driven people that, it's like this whole to build a community or like a culture where, we together grow something. I think that's a large incentive of this, to, have like-minded people that all, together build a pool of wealth and also, financial assets. And then, Kevin has his retreat, which would be super fun to do, like a secondary thing of these calls and, to build something. Like, I think we're all builders in our own fields, and then we come together through this topic, for example.
And I think just really quickly, sorry, Kev, before you say your part, there was a funny thing. Kevin and I are part of a four-person trading group through an app here that we all talk about different trading stuff. And one of our trader friends was like, during the call this morning, was talking about the moves he made and the amount of money he made. And me and Kev were having a laugh, and we said, well, we trained 12 people in crypto, and we feel comfortable with that. And meanwhile, he's saying, he's made this massive amount of money. And the thing is though, right, for me and Kevin, yes, of course, everyone likes to build their wealth and build money and that kind of thing. Of course, we wouldn't want to do that for us and our families. But this is such an important part of who we are and what we do, and giving back is a big thing. We don't mean to sound like some saints or something, Linda, so don't get us wrong.
Well, but what I'm hearing is actually brilliant. It's honestly music to my ears. Sings to my soul, actually, because what you're talking about is just a new way of being, not only from a financial standpoint, but from a human values, like contribution, build community standpoint. Just that piece right there is just like, that's a completely new, different world. So
yeah,
that's sign me up. I mean, that's the world I want to be in.
yeah. And I mean, like-minded people build together, right? I have never in my life, and I know we're getting all kind of soppy here, but I've never in my life met someone that gives as much as Kevin. And one of my number one goals that I have, right, is to give without expectation of ever receiving anything. And that's something that I've been working on the last 6 months, and I continue to do and try to do every day, is give without any expectation of receiving anything in return. And it's something that I actually learn off one of my online mentors. He doesn't know this because he's got millions of followers, but Gary V, which was the guy that's in the photo at the beginning, he's massive on give without expectation of receiving anything. And that's when you'll truly find happiness. And I honestly have, in the last 6 to 9 months since I've been doing that, I've gained so much more. And it's just so happened that it's aligned with this business that I've done with Kev as well, right? All the worlds have really aligned for me at the same time. So it's been good. Sorry, Kev, I've built you right up now to be some messiah.
Not at all. Thank you so much for the kind words. Like, there's not much that I can add on to, the things that you've all said. Like, we're all in the same boat, the way I see it. And I feel like this place that's been built, it's not just me, obviously. Like, I didn't pay for all this myself. Like, I'm so lucky and so blessed to be in the situation that I'm in, like, as Troy said, on an island. And it comes with its ups and downs. Like, living in the jungle, I've got to maintain that as well.
Tackle the odd snake.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. There's
spiders,
snakes and dogs and spiders and whatnot. But I feel like, instead of like feeling like, oh, I own this place and it's mine, it's like that capitalist kind of mindset. I'm just here as a caretaker, waiting for other people to come and use the space as they see fit to then create something better. One thing I loved when I first met Kjartan was his philosophy on just like, what else is possible? What else is possible? Yeah. And that really helped and carried through with my journey now, where you asked before about what's the benefit for us, and do we trade and all that sort of thing full time. I've kind of fallen into trading full time by default, even though I used to do it before part time and as a hobby. My passion was in music and graphic design and building all this other stuff. But because of COVID, I'm lucky enough that I have the time being on a deserted resort, because we don't have customers, and I've got internet and 4 cats and a dog and my partner with me. She's here to keep me sane, or sometimes I drive her insane. She's also trading, actually. She started a few weeks ago, started learning how to trade, which is awesome. And she's so much better at picking things than me, because there's something with male testosterone that just makes us take stupid risks and make stupid decisions. And anyway, that's another tangent. But I really love this space, whether or not people sign up to things or join us within the community or whatever. Obviously some of those links will have referral benefits to it, but it's like $10, $50 here and there. It's not something that's going to, break the bank or make me a millionaire or anything like that. It's just a little something on the side to, not only does it reward me for the time and effort that I put in, and same with Troy as well, but it also gives the opportunity for whoever is signing up to those things to also have the same opportunity to, receive a little bit. Like the Coinbase thing, I really love that they do this whole like sign up to our platform and get $10 worth of crypto just for learning about crypto. because it gives people that chance to, you know, delve into the space and learn something and grow from that.
It starts at the top, doesn't it? It's this movement starts at the top. So Coinbase is one of the biggest exchanges in the world who are giving crypto to people to learn crypto, right? So it's like a when you have an awesome organization, it always starts at the CEO. Like, never do you have an awesome organization and you work your way up the chain and then the person at the top is I won't say that word, is not a very nice person, right? That never happens. If there's an awesome organization, it's led by an amazing person.
That's right. When it stinks from the head.
Exactly. So the leaders in this space are really genuine people who want the better I don't know if that's a word, betterment for the world. And the ones that aren't are really quickly sought out and culled from the community. It's a real herd mentality. There's definitely snakes in the community, don't get me wrong. There's always snakes, but very rarely do they get to rise to the top because they get ripped out of this community and thrown aside. Sorry to cut you off, Kev, but Clive, we've been talking a lot, mate. We'd love to hear from you as well. Sorry, mate. But yeah, Clive, did you have any questions or any thoughts? We'd be happy to hear from you as well, mate.
Thank you. I'm very comfortable with everything I'm hearing. It resonates with me. I have a desire to be involved, to make a difference. I'd love to irrigate a desert. I'd love to put some water in the middle of the sand and let people grow stuff. How we can do that by building a pipeline and just putting the water in the middle and letting the water flow where it flows and letting people live as a result of that water. That's kind of something that's giving me a bit of a buzz right now. We're in a good space. We're comfortable. We're safe. We've got a bit of money in the bank, and it's time to build a legacy, make a difference.
Yeah, that's awesome. But that's, mate, honestly, I'm going to give you a virtual hug right now, Clive. That's what we're about, right? So, yeah, I've got nothing else to say on top of that. That's beautiful. And being such a good friend of Paul, it doesn't surprise me at all, those words coming out of your mouth, because Paul's one of the most genuine, loving, authentic people in this space as well. He's helped so many people. He's a good friend of Roscoe's as well. And between Roscoe and Paul, they've really helped Kevin and myself in this journey. And we're just giving again back down the line. And, you know, we'd love to say in 3 years' time that Linda and Clive are, you know, the new leaders in this space and, you know, helping new people, right? Because I think the time has come and there's been enough rich bankers make money. Okay, there's enough rich bankers make money. Let's give it to the people who have really been wanting to make a difference, right? And that's beautiful. So
yeah, exactly. It's one of the reasons why you know I was drawn so much to Roscoe's, you know, programs and things like that, because it was literally called Build the Future, and he helped me do that. I can say hand on my heart, I would not be here today had it not been for him being the first person to actually back me in this venture. And then people like Troy and Keratin followed. And yeah, like gratefulness abounds for those people who you know, walk the walk and not just talk the talk. He set out to build the future, and he had a vision to empower other people to do that, and it's happening regardless of the challenges. And yeah, that's what drives me to want to grow the community. Like I've never run a resort before. I've built houses and things like that before, but this space here is really just like, I feel like I've done my part in terms of building it, and then like let the people come. And I'd love to run retreats here or be involved in retreats, or not just exploring things in crypto, but in, you know, mindfulness and how to be a better human being and how to cultivate that kind of different model, you know. Yeah, if there was a way to you know, live sustainably or more sustainably and more regeneratively as well, those are things I'd love to explore here. And Yeah, I could go on for days, but
Yeah, I know. We could go down the rabbit hole, guys. We'd have you all night. So we're really looking forward actually to sending you out the recording, because it's going to have Paul's 20 minute spiel on decentralized finance. And Linda and Clive, if you thought your head hadn't quite exploded yet, your head will explode when we talk about decentralized finance, but explode in a really, really good way. Yeah, like I said, educate yourself in this space, explore this space. It will, like Kev is a smarter guy than me, but he's a drummer, so they're not exactly the smartest cookies going around, are they? And myself, I'm a tradie who is like an ex heavy metal vocalist, right? I grew up in a very socioeconomic impacted part of Australia called the Central Coast, which is a really kind of nuts and bolts society, blue collar society. And if you educate it's like everything, right? Educate yourself in something that is going to bring long-term wealth, but you can also help the community, right? It's a win-win situation. Look, yeah, we're so looking forward to having you guys again tomorrow. Tomorrow we will actually be joined by a couple of other European friends as well, because two of them didn't come tonight because they're already into crypto, so they didn't really have to quite hear this, but they're very interested in the trading side. So they will be joining us tomorrow. So it won't be quite as intimate tomorrow, but it'll still be awesome. I feel a really good
same time, same place tomorrow.
Same time, different Zoom address. So it is in your link. It is a different Zoom address though, but I'm sure Jartan will send it on again for you. But it is a different Zoom link.
Thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you so much.
thank you so much, everyone.
No problem.
Really, really great to have this session.
It's been awesome. It's been good. And thank you again to Jartan. That was really invigorating, and I must and I will do that more often, for sure, because that will really help me sometimes.
Better trades. I think that's the difference between male trading and female trading.
It is
just more in that higher level awareness.
I know, man. I know. I've got I had to take it down because I got wrecked, but I had this Michael Jordan's one of my idols, so I've got his poster above my trade schedule here, and different quotes that he has, and I'll always look at it and go, all right, just got to focus and not let your emotions take over. But thanks again, everyone. Thank you so much, Kev. Thank you, Jartan. It was a pleasure seeing you again, my friend. Thank you, Linda. It was great meeting you. Clive, awesome again. I know we met quickly this morning, but yeah, let's do this again tomorrow. Hey, same place, same time, different Zoom address.
Awesome. Thanks, everyone.
Tomorrow.
Bye.
Thanks, guys. Have a great night or evening or day or whatever it may be. See you guys.
This evening.
Bye.